First things first, will you enjoy this movie? Is it worth your time? Is it worth your money? The answer to that question is yes, it is worth your time. It's worth your money. There's a lot of reviews and things that I'm seeing where it's like, oh, just go see the first movie. Like, oh, it's just a repeat, blah, 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 all this stuff. And those things are still true, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the movie is still enjoyable. It's still fun to watch. It's new and it's different. And as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, which is you're getting yourself into like a Star Wars or a Marvel version of Gladiator, where the script is pretty shallow, it's not super deep, and there's lots of visual effects that are cool and whatever, and explosions, and the story's pretty copycat, everything's sort of redone. It's just that same vibe that you've seen before, that we've all seen before, and as long as you know that going into it, you will have a good time. You will be entertained. So, like, what do you need to know going into this movie that will help you enjoy it more, because you're not hoping that it's something that it's not, that you're hoping that it's going to meet what the first one was able to do, that it's going to somehow compete, because it doesn't compete and it is worse. So what to know to enjoy it more? It's the same movie as the first, just worse. Its characters are shallow and don't have a ton of depth. And that's something we're all used to, I think. Like I said, the Marvel and the Star Wars-ification of all of our media, it's just that again. And so you have these characters whose motivations and whose choices, like, they are flip-flopping, they're not making a ton of sense, there's not a ton of build-up, or just there's not enough good writing to show us, the viewer, like, why they're making the decisions that they are. And so everything just sort of falls flat and feels rushed. And the other weird thing they do is they're splitting, like, the characters from the first movie. They're splitting up their like character type between multiple characters. Russell Crowe's character is shared between Paul's and Pedro's characters, and then you've got Joaquin Phoenix's character who's split between 3 different people in this movie. You've got the 2 emperors, and then you've got Denzel Washington. And so why it's just a watered down version of the first, but the acting is good from everybody. And I think that Denzel Washington and the 2 emperors, actually, they are standouts to me. I think they did a really good job being gross, being weird. And then for Denzel's character, I liked him, but his standout was almost like he's a time traveler who time traveled from like the mid 80s to mid 90s, like LA, and got transported to 400 AD and just shows up and is ready to overthrow the Roman Empire. That's the vibe. That's how he talks. That's how he speaks. That's how he acts. His mannerisms, they're all just like nowadays, just a regular guy, like from the hood, basically, and that's how he acts. So I think that was a miss, but he is one of the funner ones to watch. Like, he's one of the characters that actually has what feels like real motivations. He has like an actual character development. He's just funner to watch on screen, even though he maybe doesn't fit with the themes and the vibe of the movie. The score is interesting because every time it's playing, you're just hoping to hear the original soundtrack, and you will, every now and again, it'll sort of get like slipped in, and then you're like, oh, here it is, and then it fades out and never builds, and you're like, oh, dang it, I just wish that I would have heard the original score, unfortunately. And then throughout the movie, it's constantly trying to pull on like these emotional callbacks to the original movie to try and get you to like feel the same emotions that you got originally. And to me, it's like, why just write it better? Spend the time, like, make this movie make me feel emotions. Like, quit trying to Star Wars and Marvel-ify this movie. Just write a good movie that pulls on my heartstrings like the first one, or don't make the movie. That said, so that's kind of what you need to know going into it, right? Though if you have those expectations and don't want it to be something it isn't, you will enjoy it. And I went into it feeling like I was going to get a movie that wasn't outstanding, that wasn't going to be amazing. I avoided reviews, I avoided the trailers, but I just knew that like this was just a money grab that was a recreation of the first one that I was still interested in. I knew I was going to go see. And I think if you go into it with that mindset, you will be satisfied. You will be entertained. It just is a matter of setting the right expectations. And there are some awesome set pieces. I mean, like the opening battle is awesome. There's some super cool fights inside the Coliseum that are fun to watch, and it's bloody and it's gory. The blood's almost over the top, and it's fun, and it's a fun movie, and it's a good way to pass the time. And like I said, it is worth your money. It is worth your time. Those are the two things we're qualifying it against, right? And in my opinion, it is worth those things. And for the vast majority of people, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna enjoy it. I would give it. I first came out of the theater giving it 4 stars, meaning like I really liked it, but having sat on it a little bit more, thinking about it a little bit more, dropped it to 3.5. Almost really liking it. It's just right on the edge, but it's a good time. It's worth your money. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya.